Howdy folks! I have to give a disclaimer or a warning on this video. This is another one of those inanely boring pencil videos. So if you continue watching, it's at your own risk. Anyway, my wife and I went to our favorite garage sale. And I say favorite because they have it periodically throughout the summer depending on their schedule and the weather. And what these folks do is they buy those abandoned storage units, and I think they sell all the larger, higher dollar item stuff at an auction or through other outlets. But they have a garage sale to get rid of all the little junky stuff that's not worth taking to an auction. So they have a whole garage full of stuff. They also have another outbuilding with a it's a frame and tarp sort of setup that they keep things in, and also have stuff outside. So what's nice is they just want to get rid of stuff, so they have really good deals. They often have pencils, but they're usually newer, kind of cheaper ones. But they do have this bin that they keep a lot of pencils in. And they must have added some new pencils to it, because I found some interesting ones. So I spent quite a bit of time, 10-15 minutes, just kind of going through the bin, just kind of grabbing out stuff that looked interesting. I didn't go through it with a fine-tooth comb or anything. So anyways, this is what I got. Actually, I got the box too. And let's see if I can open this without spilling them all. But anyways, I got a couple of handfuls of pencils. I know it's cheap too. I think we got something like 9 items. You know, I got the box, the pencils, and a bunch of other stuff, and they only charge us $6. So it's probably like $1 for the pencils, which is a good deal. So okay, let's take a closer look and see what we have here. Shazam! I have all the pencils organized. That way you don't have to be bored while I paw my way through the millions of pencils trying to see what's there. The first thing I'll go over is the box, which I like a lot. It's nicely pencil sized. It's got a little strap here and a pouch and an area to keep in a notebook or something, small notebook. So I like that. I'm glad I found that. And before I get into these pencils, we went to a church rummage sale before the garage sale, and there were 2 boxes of Dixon Oreo pencils. And one box was newer. They were made in China, and for way too many reasons to list, I definitely don't want a Chinese-made pencil. But anyways, these are made in the USA, so they're a little bit older, and they're really nice. They got the embossing with the gold foil really pops out. Nice gold ferrule, complete box, and like I said, made in the USA, so those are nice. At the garage sale, I picked up these. These are just a bunch of Sharpie markers, just to have for everyday use. Those are always come in handy. And I got some erasable color pencils too, just for everyday use too, that I thought might be handy. I found these color pencils, and I thought these were quite unique because I never saw this before, but I don't know if you can pick this up on the camera, but the core has a little white ring around each one of them. And they're a Staedtler pencil, which is made in Germany, which is a better brand. And the model is called Norris Club. But I guess this white coating, it's a coating on the lead to strengthen it. And to give it a little bit more, make it a little break resistant. I think they call it their anti-break system. But they're not terribly expensive. They're not a real top-of-the-line pencil or anything, but I got them because I wasn't sure what that white coating was. A couple color pencils. This one is a Royal Color, which I think is just a cheapie. And this is a little bit older. This is a Colorific by Empire, made in the USA, so that's an older pencil. Now we're to the graphite pencils. And these are a couple of kitty pencils, and I never understood why they made such a big pencil for a small hand. But this is my first Ticonderoga, so that's a Chinese-made newer pencil. But this is actually an older pencil. This is a Husky by Empire, made in the USA, number 683. So the embossing is quite deep, but the ink is a little bit sloppy here. But it's kind of a neat pencil, and definitely older, with a green eraser to match the green paint. The next one I think is just a carpenter pencil, but it's shaped a little bit different. Most carpenter pencils that I know of are flat, and this one is actually oval. The lead looks flat with some rounded edges, and there's no markings on it that I can tell, but the paint job is kind of flaking off. It looks quite a bit older. So I really have no idea what this is time-wise or anything else, but it definitely looks older to me. If you do have any ideas on any of these pencils, or you need to correct anything that I say, please leave those in the comments. I'd be more than happy to hear those. Now these I would call office supply pencils. Like if you go to Staples and you buy pencils, they're going to say Staples on the pencil, number 2 or whatever. But the first two are from the Universal Office Supply Company, and it's their Blackstonian model, number 555, and they're both in number F hardness. This is a current pencil, I believe. I believe you can just buy that, or you may have been able to buy it fairly recently, but it's from the Quill Office Supply Company. This one is Unison. And I'm not sure about this, but it's Campus, so they must have been sold at college bookstores. Bonded lead, but it definitely looks older. Made in the USA. The eraser looks a little bit hard. A nice black stripe on the ferrule. And lastly, this is Sparco, which is a office supply company, or was. The little bit is missing from the R there, so it looks like Spapco, but it's Sparco. It's their bonded 505, number 2, medium soft. So nice little red band on the ferrule. That's kind of cool. Okay, just some generic pencils. Graphite number 2. I'm not really sure why I got that. I think that's just a junky pencil. This one's kind of interesting. This is older. It's back with the Venus brand, and it's embossed, made in USA. You can't really see it, but it's their 1600, and this is F. So I looked this one up online, and I couldn't find any information about it except for, I think it's brandnamepencils.com that kind of catalog older pencils, and they had the Venus 1600. I think it's number 2 or HB, I forget which. So it's a different hardness, but that's the only reference I could find to it. So this must be a less common pencil. This next one is a Barrel Arcadia, number 167, a number 3. Couldn't find, also embossed, made in the USA. I couldn't really find much information about that one. And here's a bunch of Sanford pencils. The first batch here are actually the Sanford Eagle. So the Sanford company bought Eagle out at some point, and at this stage of the game they were still using the Eagle name on the pencil. So I got one really nice yellow one and 2 less nice yellow ones, and one that's actually broken, but I don't mind that at all. I'll slap an eraser on there and use it for every day and be able to use a vintage pencil without feeling guilty about using a collector sort of pencil. And this one is a Sanford Eagle 2. Let me see if I can, okay, right here. I'm sure you can't see this on the camera, but it says Sanford Eagle USA HB number 2, just like the yellow ones. This is a Sanford, plain old Sanford number 2 USA, and this is a Sanford Murado USA, the old Murado name that's gone down the line under many names and owners. In fact, this next one is Papermate. When Newell Brands bought a bunch of the pencil companies, they folded the Sanford brand under the Papermate for their actual graphite pencils. So now instead of Sanford, it's Papermate, and this is the Murado also, but it's the Black Warrior because it has the black paint job to it. But this one's still made in the USA. I believe a lot of the Papermates now are made in Mexico or some other part of the country. It's really hard to keep track of where these are being made half the time, a lot of these pencils. But it's the same with the red stripe on the ferrule. So I'll be glad to give those a try. Here's an Eberhard Faber American number 2, and this American model is kind of passed through many hands down the line, and it almost looks like natural, but it is painted kind of a off yellow. And actually here are a bunch of Papermate American brand pencils, or American model pencils, whatever you want to call it. But I got 3 of the yellow painted ones and one that is actually blue painted. But these are all marked USA, so they're still from when they were making them in the United States. Here's a couple of plain old Dixon. Not sure why I got these, because I'm pretty sure these are the Chinese version, modern version. And actually here's a couple Rosart pencils. And this has an interesting lineage. I did a pencil video before, and it was about it had some Rosart kind of higher quality. They were some very nice cedar and kind of premium pencils that kind of evolved into other brands. So actually the Rosart family sold a lot of their brands, including I think some toy brands and some pencil stuff, to Mattel. So Mattel started making the pencils, or actually, selling the pencils. And they, I think, went with a Mega Brands branding under Mattel. And these are all, just like these are USA Gold, also, all 3 of them. One's a natural pencil, 2 are painted. One has green highlights, the other one has blue. I'm not sure what the difference is there, or if there is. A little bit difference in the size of font, but I believe these are under Mattel. And then, interestingly enough, Mattel actually sold the pencils, rights to the pencils, back to the same family that had Rosart. So they actually had another company called Crazy Art, I believe, and started selling the pencils there. And just like these that are USA Gold, they started making USA Gold, but they instead of Mega Brands, they called it America's Pencil. And they have the gold, and they also have the silver. And actually, I bought what I bought was almost all of the USA Silver, so I got a whole bunch of these that will be good to use. And I think these are current, so I think you can still go online and buy these new. So they're not an old pencil, but they are a quality, still made in the USA pencil. And last but not least, under the same family are these USA Titanium. So they have the silver, the gold, and these are the titanium. And I'm not sure what all the differences are, but these have a nicely painted ferrule with a couple black stripes. And I believe they also come all pre-sharpened, as you see here. They're all sharpened up. Well, that's it. If you're still awake, you must really like pencils, or you drank a lot of coffee. But either way, I really appreciate you watching. I hope you found something interesting, and good luck to you with all your pencil collecting and vintage thrift store garage sale sort of shopping.